Yo, peeps, what's going on, everybody? It's another Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide race. I am your boy, the Schwantz27. I'm joined in the commentary booth by SonikTheJester. What's going on, Sonic?
How you doing, Schwantz? How's everybody in chat doing tonight?
I think we're doing okay. So, what the heck are we going on here?
Oh, apparently some craziness. Looks like we have a 2-on-2 action, co-op voice with each other. So you're just gonna have us to listen to tonight.
I hope we can make it as dry as possible.
Well, with how good you are in commentary, Schwantz, I don't think that's gonna be possible.
All right, well, thank you for patting me on the back, because otherwise I'd break my own spine. We are doing a co-op race. It is left-hand side versus right-hand side here. So that means it is Sabre Wolf and HunnyDoo versus KwehstopherWarken and YakkoWakko. We're doing an Ultros League settings, but this is a co-op race. So the runners can communicate with one another, and I would expect to see one runner sort of start on one path and the other runner start on a different path. And it is kind of difficult if you've never done a co-op race to kind of figure out how much information do we share. Do I want information overload? Is that too much? Is that too little? So we'll see how our runners decide to do that with one another.
It's very true, Schwantz. Have you done one of these before yourself?
I have not participated in one. However, I've definitely been a part of co-op races in other games before, and I've also been a fly on the wall for some co-op showcases that we've done. And yeah, sometimes there's a lot of information overload. You might tell your partner something really important, but they might not care about it because they just have so much other stuff to do.
Very true. I wonder what the correct strategy at play would be here.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, if it was me, I would send one runner to the World of Balance, one runner to the World of Ruin, go get some loot, get some shops, and only tell people things that are like, considered high tier, or maybe, hey, I found earrings here, or go to this shop to get this. And I would expect that, there's not a lot of overlap with our two runners on each team. So Ultros League Season 5 is underway. We are in week 2 of Ultros League Season 5. It's been going pretty good so far. How are you enjoying it so far, Sonic?
I'm definitely loving it. It's a great experience. It's nice seeing so many active people working together. When I first thought of randomizers, I always thought competitive. And yes, it's competitive, but it's a friendly competitive, and it's such a great feeling to be able to embrace it.
Yeah, you get to meet a lot of new people. You get to improve the strategies of the game, and you get to have a lot of fun. Speaking of improving things, Arusta with a 8-month sub from Prime. Thank you so much, Arusta, for subscribing to the channel. All of the Twitch monies that we get, we do use it towards a future donation when one of our community members is running during a marathon. I think we have some ones that are upcoming, but nothing set in stone yet, as we have gotten the all good here in order to start. So we should be starting momentarily here. And
that's good,
it'll be interesting. Yep, go ahead.
Because we see Glue is hungry for some violence over there. Uh-oh.
All right, so we are underway. Go, Strago with Sword Tech and Natural Magic, and Shadow with Morph are our characters here to start us off. So, yeah, I would send somebody to do the awful Strago checks, and somebody else gets to do Shadow's checks. Which one would you rather go for, the Shadow, the Go-Go, or the Strago checks?
Honestly, I think it's a good idea to send somebody into Go-Go, while the other person maybe explores the burning house to see if it's got good checks in there or good fights in there, because then that could be a good time save. to see if Gogo's even worth it for the other person.
Yeah, so somebody should. Yeah, I agree with you. Somebody should either do all the free checks right away or just go to Gogo's free check right away. I completely missed, by the way, what was that Gal Manor? So if anybody saw it in the chat, let me know.
I missed it, but I saw that sneaky Atmo weapon hiding in the box in the returners. It's a good find right there.
Very nice. So the first 5 to 10 minutes of any Worlds Collide seed is going to be looting and shopping, and with a co-op race, we're probably going to see a lot of different things happening at once. So tracking this is going to be a little bit of a nightmare because we got to be on our toes here. So if I miss something, just yell in the chat. So
yes, please help us, chat. And I did see a rage ring in the clock in Narsh, so that'll be a nice little find. Nothing too special in the shop so far.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything really jump out at me. Rage Ring will give fire absorption and lightning nullification, which is good. We got some dried meat and some warp stones here. So, yeah, sometimes over communication in these co-op races might be a bit too much. So, I think that, keeping it simple and keeping it to the really good stuff that you find and sort of ignore all the other stuff. Here we see Sabrewolf heading over into the World of Ruins, starting at Albrook. So again, this is another town where there are some treasure chests. You might not go in here all the time, but in a co-op race, you're certainly in there. And speaking of in there and now out of there, HunnyDoo checking on the Master Pug in that monster in a box, which is rather disgusting. So we're just going to run away from that. Yeah, just dropping a Greatest, which sells for money, I guess is the nicest thing you could say about that. So
yeah, very true. It's always nice if you have some smoke bombs and steal or capture. You can go ahead and try to get that mega elixir or elixir from him, and then just dip out of there as well. That could be a great help for the tower or early sell.
All right, so we do see Hunny here at the Gal Manor, so we'll see what this reward is in just a second. I better keep my eyes on it. Some interesting strats with the Strago start in the chat. It looks like, check. Yeah, it is a dead check, but it does count towards your skip. You do get 21 checks for skip in the new Ultros League settings, so that's why we have the little checks indicator. That's the imp indicator there. Thunder Rods for sale in wherever Sabrewolf is. So,
and Sabrewolf did find a hero ring somewhere.
Hero rings are always good. They will give you plus 25% to both physical and magical offense. Very nice to have.
And he's got a Genji armor. Okay, so there's some good high tier items that they found so far.
A question from the chat: can the teams tell one another where stuff is? Of course. They are both in separate voice calls, and that's why you see them sort of doing different stuff here, although our right-hand side team is both in the same spot, and that's because there are a ton of chests down in the basement. There's got to be something in there, as YakkoWakko picks up a flame shield, then an ice rod, then a ribbon. So it totally makes sense why he came here immediately right away. World of Ruin, South Figaro is going to have different chests there for Sabrewolf, and we'll see who decides to go where. We already saw our bottom runners head to Gal Manor for that free check, and we'll see if the top runners head to Go for the free check. Definitely want to, I think, with Strago, at least peek what the bottom of Fnatic's tower is. Maybe you don't go all the way up it just yet. But I think I send somebody into the Burning House, and that'll take a while to complete. And then have the other runner, sort of running around the world a little bit here.
Yeah, we have to see if they find any warp stones to try to give them a better idea if they even want to run into Gogo's check to take the time lost to run out. But they are finding some good items in Figaro as well. I saw a force shield, some earrings, a bunch of elixirs.
Yeah, usually the basement is not going to be something that you're going to skip either way. So I don't hate that both of our runners are there. Both of the runners on the left team are also in South Figaro at the same time. They're just in two different worlds here. There were some warp stones in the shop. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Rista was just saying that is what I was going to point out.
Okay. Yeah, so that's a good call on waiting for Gogo until you get the warp stone, because walking out of there is awful. Thunder Shield in a shop there. So already we have 2 elemental shields up for grabs, plus, as you mentioned earlier, that Rage Ring. So we're starting to maybe think about some Merton protection here.
That's very true. That's already 3 out of 4. They could, depending on if somebody can wear the Rage Ring.
Yeah, and I think I would be hoping for a Cyan in the seed somewhere with Go-Go and Strago both having access to Sword Tech. If you get Cyan and go all the way through the Dream, now you have 2 maxed out Sword Tech users, which is really nice.
Indeed, and I saw Strago had a nice 33 vigor at least. So if he could have that Rage Ring on and get some more strength, that could help.
Big shout outs in the chat for those of you who are fans of Swole Grandpa today. And Warken is actually in Thamasa, World of Balance, so we'll see if he decides to hop into Casa del Fuego, and it looks like that is exactly where he's going. Why not? Especially when you have Go-Go, if you have something like Rods, that is all you really need to start off the seed. And look at the flame dodging.
And then he went too far, and it circled back and pincered him in.
Yeah, this fight is particularly stinky because of that. Little launcher action.
It's very true. At least they don't have the it's not the other armor, the heavy armor with the double arm counterattack on death, right? So
yeah, those are bad. I don't know. I think these guys will give out XP. There are certain formations of this sprite, I think, or a similar sprite. Maybe it's the M-Tech armor enemy that doesn't give out any XP. So we want to avoid that state. I think these guys give out XP though.
Yeah,
the problem
right.
is this
M-Tech that doesn't.
This is going to be a tough fight though.
Oh, thankfully they don't have any MP for M-Tech laser, so
okay, so then maybe it's not so bad. The problem is that missile will inflict
sometimes
the sap
seizure,
status,
right?
Yeah. So it inflicts the sap status. I can't speak here. Who the hell made me commentary? Anyway, so hopefully we don't just get tickled to death here. Meanwhile, YakkoWakko heading to the Velt Cave, 41,000 for that glowing stone, and it is Crusader from HunnyDoo. So he has the first Esper on the board here.
And with the strength 2 going on Strago, that could help him catch up real good with the damage on his sword tech for later.
All right, so it looks like Warken brought a bunch of potions. Those are the words. So he's going to be fine here in this burning house. Meanwhile, some pugs for YakkoWakko. So this is also going to take a while, this fight, but the potential is there to get 3 Minervas.
Very true. Very true. And luckily, the other formation inside the burning house, Ralph Joker, it's a quick fight. Yeah, it's not too much experience, but they have no worries at this low level of them wiping from that fight.
Yeah, question from the chat. Most of the sword techs run off of the strength stat. That is correct. There are 3 of them that don't. Well, there's multiple of them that don't. But Sword Tech 5 and Sword Tech 6 will use your magic power. Sword Tech 3 is based on the enemy's HP because it's one of those fractional damage thingamajiggies. Everything else is based on strength, though. Dispatch, Sword Tech 2 of Retort, the Quadra Slam and Quadra Slices, which I always confuse which is which. And Sword Tech 8 will just kill everything on the screen. So most of them use strength. There's a couple of them that don't. Most notably 5 and 6.
Well, let's see. Sabre's going to the World of Ruin. Let's see where he decides to. Yeah, they're gonna all go to the Zen Thief. For the Strength 2 Esper.
Yeah, so just like you mentioned, the strength +2 Esper, put that on our sword tech user, and that'll be nice. It's slightly cheaper in the World of Ruin, but not by much. 40,000 as compared to 44,000. And the pugs are getting awfully close here. Oh no, and Warken goes into the wrong door. Thankfully, this isn't a bad fight here.
Oh, Sandrain Arenid is really good too. One more pug left. This is getting really scary.
Yeah, he's got this.
It's too bad he didn't have retort yet, because that would have worked really well in this fight.
Oh yeah, because the pugs will basically do physical attacks unless you get them with whatchamacallit, a magical spell. I've never actually seen the pugs get that close to do knife.
Yeah, and he, it missed too. So that was very interesting. I thought disaster was about to strike.
Do the pugs regenerate their health now? I guess not, no. Because now that
Let's
one's
see
dead.
if he gets lucky. No Minervas. Oh, that hurts.
Yeah, but you still get 25 MP, and there was a Minerva.
Oh, he did. It's weird.
Yeah, we must have
clicked through it
missed
so
it on the
fast.
screen. Yeah. All right, and it looks like HunnyDoo is going into the belly of the beast here. So we got 3 different areas from our runners. We'll see if any of them decide to do something else completely, like floating continent.
Luckily,
And
the boss in tunnel armor.
yeah, thank goodness this is an easy boss here.
Yeah, low level, he won't be able to break out his big spells.
All right, and there is a shiny stone at the Velt Cave. So this is not going to be our character here. This is going to be yet another Esper.
I wonder if it's going to be here with HunnyDoo.
Yeah, I think he's going to get thrown off at least once. I don't
Do you think
he's
so?
going. I don't think this is an offer. What do you think, chat? How many bridge throws will we get this seed with the amount of go-go starts we've had?
He's being really patient, so I think he might. Oh, I think he got it. He snuck
Yeah.
right by.
Yeah, I am not that patient. You're a better man than I am, HunnyDoo. Taking his character or his party down to 1 character, so Engulf can take a shorter amount of time. I don't know what Yakko reset to. I didn't see what that boss was. Was it a bad boss? It might have been a bad boss, because he's still only level 3. And he's warping out. He's getting the hell out of Dodge.
Goddess. It was Goddess.
Oh, man. Yeah. No thanks.
Yeah, this early, we'd be relying on Dispatch to take her out before a Love Token, and I think she's still able to throw a Bolt Edge out this early, right?
Ooh. Did you see what I saw?
Oh, I missed it.
It's Realm at the bottom of Fanatic's Tower.
Oh,
along with an Esper from Burning House with Bolt 2 and another Esper at Gogo's check. So Realm at the bottom of the Burning House is an interesting one. And it looks like Yakko is getting sent into the belly here. So it looks like they will be they'll be getting engulfed because the party's down to 1. And we'll see where Warken decides to go. Sabre Wolf is in the Casa del Fuego. So he'll get his Esper at the end of it. And Warken's heading up to the floating continent.
Oh, we have Merton and Life 2 and Ice 2 on that Tri-Talk. Very nice.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so that was from Zone Eater, I believe.
So now you know that everybody's going to be dipping down to Zone Eater.
Yeah.
With the Merton defense that they found so far and only needing 1 more piece, it sounds like a viable strategy.
Yeah, Flare on that as well for getting out of trouble. That's really nice to see. All right, so far, pretty easy first fight there for our floating continent user. We'll see if Yakko gets tossed off of the bridge here.
Someone's definitely bound to. There we go.
Oh, yeah. That's that impatience there.
He juked him. Now, if you're really quick, you could pop into the X menu really fast to
Mhm.
dodge that quick knockdown. Does that actually work, Schwantz? Have you been able to successfully do that?
It does. It basically, if you press X, the NPCs will go like 1 or 2 steps in the direction that they were supposed to, and oh no! It's a travesty on the floating continent. Level magic's hitting with level 4 flare.
And we
You hate
have
to see it happen.
another travesty at Christopher Walken's.
Yeah, that's where he was. It's
Oh,
oh no, Sabrewolf also getting clapped by the Pluto armors there. And it looks like as Sabrewolf dies, HunnyDoo is going to pick up right from his corpse. What a teammate. That's like Scrappy Doo and Scooby Doo. Let me at him. All right, so we'll see if Warken decides to go back to the floating continent here, or if we try something else. Meanwhile, YakkoWakko makes it through with only 1 bridge throwdown, so they're going to pick up their Esper here. Sabrewolf looks like he's going to also go, but he has 3 members of his party, so this engulf is going to take just a wee bit longer. Oh, did Warken not save after the burning house? Oh, no.
he did not.
Oh, that's even worse.
I know.
All right, so we're decrementing some counts there.
Yakko did check the far chest and Go-Go's, and it was just a drainer. Just very sad.
Yep. Yeah, Flare, Merton, Life 2. Lots of good stuff on that Esper there. Yeah, so one of my biggest pieces of advice to newer runners is save after every check and only menu when you save. So clearly with the save after every check, sometimes you forget. Everybody has been there. I have lost at least 1 race because I forgot to save because I was rushing and I died and I got sent back 3 checks. That's everybody does that at some point.
Yeah, and with my introduction to Worlds Collide being Iron Mog, I have a very big problem with forgetting to save a lot.
Yep. All right, so Yakko is heading into the RNG cave here at Ebbets Rock. This will be some new information for us. So our character is Realm at not Floating Continent, Realm at Fanatics Tower. But this is also a possibility here at Ebbets Rock, where you get 22 pieces of coral, and we also have Floating Continent, but we've seen everything else so far.
Very true. I feel feeling really bad for Walken right now, having to deal with these Pluto armors again when he already went through this expertly.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you saw these Pluto armors, if they take the wrong or the right spell on the wrong turn, right? If they do one of their AoE attacks on the first turn, then there's nothing really you could do about it. HunnyDoo, though, picking up those ice rods, using them effectively there to plow through some of those enemies.
And get his HP pull up quick so that way that he can survive any attack that they throw at him.
All right, and it is, oh no. Ogre Marshall.
This is definitely not one you want to see, Schwantz.
No, this is a disgusting fight here. The Ogre can use up to 2 instances of Zombite per turn, and there's multiple of them. And now Strago is killing his own party. Come on, old man.
No.
It's the dementia is setting in, folks. Oh, and the Mimic.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's a disaster.
Oh, Glue being so kind.
Yeah, so we in Worlds Collide, Marshall is one of like the first early game bosses where you get the Moogle's help, right? But in Worlds Collide, we decided, hey, let's make this boss a little bit harder and not a pushover. And he gets some random ads with him every time. Oh, God. Look at this grind fight. Double Brontor.
Oh, boy. These are fights they are just not ready for yet.
Yeah, Yakko trying to get off a level 3 before taking on the boss, and that's a good strategy, just not with that enemy.
Now, you see, I'd be asking myself right now, what would glue do? And I think I would be selling off some items, going buying a bunch of rods, taking that Brontor fight, taking them down with some rods, getting those levels real quick. What about you, Schwantz?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I like doing checks with forced encounters on them to start. So I would have went to either Burning House or Floating Continent first. And we did get unlucky in the Floating Continent, but there's a lot of good rewards up there. Jesus
True.
the Frog says, if you saw Strago killing your own party, would you do it too? And then Drinks Glue says, at least Strago's killing something. Wow, the Strago slander in chat right now.
I think Yakko's getting really lucky. I saw a bunch of 5 corals there. There's like 5 corals in a row.
Yeah, this is almost the God Rock, the God Ebbets Rock. I got one when I was playing a seed the other day. It was 5-1-5-5-1. So, oh no, 2. Yeah. So, and one more 5 after that. So basically, it was almost the minimum amount of turns for me in Ebbets Rock. It was the first time that that's ever happened.
I did get a 5-2-5-5-5, but I didn't get the perfect sequence in that right after I got mine, I had like 4 dead switches until I got to the chest, so it was not the God run.
Oh, no!
I was so close there.
Oh, thank God. Gogo has an ice rod and procced it, but thankfully Shadow's got some sort of elemental shield on.
Oh, we still lose the rod though.
Was swinging the rod with the weapon.
Oh, swing. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought he used. I thought. Yeah, I apologize. I misunderstood.
No. Yeah, so Fanatic's Tower becomes interesting with Gogo because you can mimic stuff even if it's not in your inventory, right? So you could take those rods into Fanatic's Tower with you if you really want to. That might be something that if I found them, I would send whoever found those rods. I would just tell them, "Hey, go hike it up Fanatics, kill the boss at the top, and we'll figure it out."
Very true. It could be a very good viable strategy, especially with the levels being so low. You know, those rods will take out their targets as long as they're weak to that affinity.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Marshall, for stopping our zombie character. Look at that, a real pal.
Very nice.
Meanwhile, HunnyDoo getting through the Burning House and heading over to the Velt Cave, where we already know that is an Esper from our right team. And
but the left team does not know it's goddess yet.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Now, I wonder if Hunny will attempt to try to take out the goddess, or if he's just going to immediately warp out.
I think that'll depend on if he has learned Flare yet, because Flare could be very effective against Goddess. Goddess, very high magical defense, but Flare will cut through that.
Very true.
And since they have Go-Go...
really low.
Yeah, since they have Go-Go, they could just mimic the Flare over and over again. Yes. All right, 1 Ogre down, 1 more to go. And that's just Marshall. But Marshall, oh, God. I guess Yakko does not have any Revivify here. And HunnyDoo is saying no thanks to this fight.
Yeah, I definitely beat feet out of the Pugs fight anytime I come across it. You know, I might try to throw out a steal or two just to see if I get lucky.
Mm-hmm.
But it just never seems worth it. It's a huge time sink.
Clutch block there for Yakko on that charge. Here comes another one, and there goes Strago.
Oh, no.
Yeah, this is... You know, I paid for the whole seat, but I only need the edge. As Warken gets past his burning house again, and so does Sabrewolf on the second try for him. So,
and as Arista was pointing out, Schwantz, you see the near synchronicity in their kills on that tunnel armor. They were frames apart.
Nice. Oh, Strago. Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge there. Nice job. Just kill him, please. Just let Marshall die here. Oh my goodness. Hey, another block. Oh, and the Ice Rod proc. And that still hasn't done it. So this is why a lot of runners try to get off a level 3 before they take their first fight. Otherwise, it takes forever. Especially when so the enemies are level 8 at this point. It is Doom and not Goddess. Yeah, that is still awful either way.
Doom.
Alright, so it looks like HunnyDoo is using Morph. What are they going to do with it? A fire spell. Oh, and it looks like there is a character at Ebbets. It's Mog.
Oh, very nice. It's always great to see Mog. Let's hope he has a good ability.
Yeah, so nice perseverance there from YakkoWakko, taking out Marshall and those Ogres. So now at least Warken knows, hey, before you go into Ebbets Rock, get some Revivifies, dog. Otherwise, it's going to be a knock him out, slag him out. So that was, I think, like a 6 or 7 minute time loss there for Warken forgetting to save before Floating Continent the first time. We know that this second mob is going to be the level magic, so we're going to have to watch out here for this one. With the new version of Worlds Collide, with the changes that were made with version 1.4, it's now the case that all of the encounters are normalized across all of the runners. So these encounters are going to be the same every time, and they're going to be the same for every runner.
And it's very nice for that to happen. You know, it's always sad when your opposing racer gets Gigantos and Light River, and you run into level 30 magics.
Yeah, no thanks. All right, Sabre Wolf finding the pain and suffering that is the Ogre Marshall fight here, but at least he is not on level 3. However, that also means that his Go-Go is going to do way more damage to himself now.
And if you notice, the Ogres really like Go-Go for some reason.
Yeah.
Did you see he tried to bite the Go-Go again?
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
So 2 bites is base, or rather, a team full of zombies counts as a KO, so we don't want that. And I think that's GG there.
Did he just netted Shadow? Oh no.
Yep, that's a GG there.
Oh no.
F's in the chat for Sabre Wolf. Meanwhile, we've got a little, I don't even know what the hell this would be called. Vanilla bean?
Toilet Atma flying around the airship.
It's not French vanilla, because this is the Atma in the toilet, but it is close to. It's the Floating Continent. Check. Yeah. Sabre Wolf there contemplating life, and he decides every time they try and let me go, they keep on dragging me back in. So he's going back, folks.
You know, they did get lucky with the tunnel armor fight in the burning house, but these other bosses have been rough.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I wonder if Yakko's gonna have any luck up here on the top of Narsh.
Did you see who was that Kefka at Narsh?
It was our favorite buddy Gaw.
It's our wild child. Ooh, wow, it's Gao. Phase 2 here for HunnyDoo. So Doom will get the reflect and the image status in Phase 2. Thankfully, Dispatch doesn't care about that, but he was using Fire 2 with Shadow earlier in this fight. He's not going to be able to do that anymore.
And then
unless he wants just pain and suffering. I'm sorry.
See a Golem at the Lone Wolf checks once.
Ooh, okay.
And Lone Wolf was holding a Minerva, so you know, it was a good thing he picked that Nitrosite. So now we have our comms protection.
Yeah, Minerva is nice, and remember, we can always go pick that up in the World of Ruin next to the Moogle Mines all the way in the back there, if we want to go grab that. And that will count towards a check, too. So if we're sitting maybe at 20 checks, we could get to go pick up that Minerva, and then we'll get to 21 checks and have skip.
And now, Schwans, how advisable do you think that would be with us already having 3 pieces of Merton protection? That could easily be the 4th, if one of the runners, if one of our party members could wear it. That is.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so we did get past Doom, and it was the Shiva Esper there for HunnyDoo. Sabre Wolf. So far it's Ogre Marshall 3 and our runners 1. Yikes. Speaking of yikes, we're still going with Toilet Atma here at the first floating continent spot. And Sabre Wolf looks like he is going to be joining that party in the sky.
And what a party is it going to be when he sees that level magic fight?
Ooh, a little berserk action there on Shiva. That's a nice utility spell to have in case you run into the 2 bosses that are susceptible to berserk.
Very true. It's always great to have that in your pocket in case you run across MM. Oh, and it said it had quick too, right?
Yeah, so quick gets learned at a 1x rate, so that's a spell that is nice to have, but we're not going to have it for a while. Warken gets past the first boss, and that means we're going to get a story time heal before this next boss, and oh my god, this one is ugly too.
And we get some nice Zombones, though, up at Narsh, so that's some good experience for Yakko to get, using his game knowledge to revivify them. Yeah, this is definitely a slog of boss fights right at the beginning of this run.
Yeah, so in Worlds Collide with Rexol, we do not have that zinger concept, and we did that just because if we ever find Rexol in Kefka's Tower, if you fight him with one of your parties that has one good character and one meat shield, and Rexol inhabits the good character, that fight is basically unwinnable. So we decided no zinger, just defeat him the normal way. But that also means we can't do the vanilla speedrun strat of just using Odin or Raiden to kill everything on screen.
Very true. Yeah. It does make this fight a little bit more strategic and tactical.
Yep. So Rexol is not Rexol. Haydn is weak to both Pearl and Fire and Earth, believe it or not. So if you've got one of the 3 Earth spells in the game, you could use that on Haydn.
Or the Tarato Esper, right?
Or the Tarato Esper, yes. So HunnyDoo using Tritalk, then mimicking it, but Go-Go gets zombied. Oh no. Oh, thank God. The target was not changed, and I think HunnyDoo skating past. Shadow is zombie, nice. Go-Go is zombie. That was almost awful.
He pulled that through very well.
Yeah, so that was almost the sweep of the HunnyDoo Saberwolf duo.
Now, one thing I do always find scary on Christopher's screen is when you take out all of Haydn's minions, he powers himself up and can cast some extra abilities. Now, luckily, he's low enough level that I don't think he can cast Grand Train on him.
No.
But, do you know what abilities he could cast at this low level?
That is a great question for the wiki, so I'm going to head over there in just a second here, as YakkoWakko does get through Kefka at Narsh, and that means that he's going to pick up his gal.
Runic Capture Gaw. Oh, no. He will take him over Go-Go, which is pretty surprising with Sword Tech. I would think...
Yeah, Gogo. The problem with Gogo is that Gogo's stats are not
Pretty
exactly
abysmal.
great. Yeah, so maybe that's what he's banking on there. It's a
Yeah,
Phoenix Esper at the top of floating continent here.
Ooh, HP plus 100% with break.
HP plus 100 is nice if we have somebody with a offer other
Valiant
thing.
Knife or offering.
Yeah, that thing, those things. All right,
Valiant
so
Knife or Apple Weapon.
yeah, so at lower levels, non-elemental, which is what Grand Train is classified as, can do Shockwave, Heartburn, or Stone, or level 4 Flare. So Stone is particularly awful.
Okay.
Then at level 2, you get even better spells: Blowfish, Rage, Cockatrice, Quasar, Flare, Wump, Meteor, Landslide, and that's where Grand Train comes in. So,
Oh boy.
yeah, it gets bad rather quickly in the non-elemental category. Meanwhile, we have our first Mog check of the seed. Okay, a second Mog check of the seed, right? Because we just did Lone Wolf.
That's correct. Yeah, we had
And
Golem off of the first one, and here we're gonna get either an item or an Esper. So let's see if Yakko decides to take down any of these werewolves.
oh, Yakko has one Revivify and one Phoenix down.
And Hunny finds a Ragnarok in the chest at the top of the Fanatics Tower, which is very nice.
That is nice.
Won't do us much good up here on the tower.
Considered. Yeah, that's also considered a check, believe it or not. So we're going to give him another mark for a check. And one Phoenix down, but 2 dead guys for Warken here. This is bad. Does he have a tent? Oh, no. He went with the reset.
Oh, no. And then we have the Stooges.
Does that mean that floating did he? Oh, no. Okay. He saved at the beginning of Floating Continent. Thank God.
And we have the Stooges down at Mughal Defense, and then Narapa up at the top of the tower. So that's a nice one to actually go against the top of the tower.
Yeah, those piranhas are not bad, and we have ice too. So this Three Stooges fight shouldn't be terrible, but you hate to see the Delta hit happen. Thankfully, Shadow is wearing some sort of instant death protection. All right, taking the monster in a box again, and this time getting the Tiger Fangs first try. Yeah, so with Floating Continent, I actually save. Well, it depends. If I'm going in the monster in a box, then yeah, I'm saving at the beginning. But I almost exclusively save right before you get to the second part, just because this walk all the way back is just completely god awful.
Very true.
Sabre Wolf again. Those Ogres has Sabre Wolf's number. Call him. It is
a rough fight. It is one. It is somebody that I hope the Marshal never has.
Oh yeah.
I'd much rather him have retainers than Ogres.
Well, retainers, you could at least be prepared for getting instant death, right? Like
exactly.
It's only the counter attack. So you take them out one at a time, and you leave Marshal for the end, so you can get your whole party back up. Ogres are just brutal because they can attack with Zombite up to 2 times per enemy per turn. And it looks like we're gonna get a dragon fight here for HunnyDoo. Since the boss at the top wasn't a big deal, he's gonna fight this dragon here.
And it's a dirt dragon, so I'm not sure what level he learns Quake. We should be pretty fine here.
Mo being mean for Yakko casting Reflect on himself, so that's fun. Thanks there. And it looks like Hunny is going to use Tritalk yet again. Why not? It worked effectively the first time.
You get a clutch interceptor block.
And there it is.
Shout down at Mughal Defense.
Nice. Mog and Gao
And
didn't make it out alive, but that's okay.
then we find Tritok over here at the Atma weapon spot.
Interesting. Yeah, so Sabre Wolf, knowing from his partner that there's a Ragnarok at the top of this and the boss isn't too bad, decides, forget it, forget Ebbets Rock, I don't need Mog, I'm going to go get Realm instead. So this is one of the nice things about, running this co-op, right? Is now Sabre Wolf knows that I don't have to keep banging my head against this wall anymore.
Very true. And Realm hopefully will have a better ability and some good magic power stat.
Yeah, I mean, we've got Fire 2, Ice 2, Bolt 2, and Flare. I think Yakko either forgetting his Moogle Charm or he's doing this on purpose to grind, but he also doesn't have any more Phoenix Downs either. And that is the first dragon down with an Atma weapon for HunnyDoo there.
Did you see what the dragon drop was?
Yeah, that was an Atma weapon.
Oh, very nice.
So far, none of the people in our party can naturally equip that Atma weapon, but Mog can, so that's what Mog will be doing towards the rest of the end of the seed. Meanwhile, it's an offering there at the second part of the floating continent. And I think even it doesn't really matter what Realm's ability is. I think just having her magic power at this point is better than what we have with Gogo. Yes, if we find Cyan, then 2 Sword Tech users would be great. But at this point, we already have 5 characters. The chances you're going to find Cyan is not that great going forward, right?
That's very true. And with Realm only having her 2 checks, most likely only having 1 character at her checks, it's pretty slim chance that we'll find him based on how many characters still remain. Now, knowing that, and with HunnyDoo knowing that Mog is a Atma weapon equipper, do you think Sabre Wolf's going to go back to try to get Mog?
I wouldn't put that kind of PTSD on Sabre Wolf anymore. I think
he's skipping the dragon fight altogether. I think he just ran by it.
Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't need it, he doesn't need it, right? Like, he also has less espers than HunnyDoo has, so maybe he doesn't have the same amount of spells to be learned. So that is a possibility also. Warken, by the way, on the second of 2 forced encounters here at the floating continent, we'll get 1 more boss, so we'll see what he's got. Arusta saying he already has an Atma weapon from a chest and returners. Don't need the second one. That's very true as well.
I mean, that is true. Atma offering is good, especially if you have a nice shield. Though Atma, double Atma Genji offering could be amazing, but only if you have really good defense, right?
Yeah, I almost never use Genji Glove 2 Atma weapons just because it does much more damage with full HP, right? It loses damage if you don't have full HP. And if you don't have a shield, then you better have either a Snow Muffler or a Minerva. Otherwise, you're going to get beaten up a little bit. Speaking of beaten up a little bit, go down on the ground there for Warken. And we'll see what the last boss here is at the end of the floating continent.
And YakkoWakko going in the Velt, so we'll be able to see what... Oh, and he gets it right off the bat, and it's a lock.
Nice. Where the heck is lock in this tracker? There it is. All right, so Yakko already has 6 characters, is now just looking for espers. So this is where Yakko is going to start to zoom, because he already knows that some of the checks that he has not done yet have espers on them. And Locke's check in the World of Ruin to go to the weapon shop is also one that can only reward an esper an item.
Very true. I wonder what our pathing is going to be for everybody. As you called it, Yakko is definitely going there. And then we have the cranes here at the end of the floating continent. So we'll be able to see what our reward is here in a moment.
Yeah, so if in a co-op seed, I also think if you find a character that your partner doesn't have, you go do those checks immediately, because then you could relay to your partner, hey, go get Locke and then go get this awesome thing, right?
Very true.
Which is why HunnyDoo is going to do Mog stuff to let Sabrewulf know, hey, you might have to go get Mog because I found this, that, and the other thing.
I actually love this fight down here in the bottom right corner with YakkoWakko. You get a lot of experience here.
Yeah, you just got to be able to survive Behemoth's counterattacks, and it's a Rage Lock, I think. So that one's nice. Carcass will give us Bolt 3. That's a nice Rage to have. That's really the only one I see in here that's worth using.
And we got Seraphim off of the Floating Continent with Cure 3, Remedy, and Haste MP10.
All right, so now YakkoWakko knows, hey, if I go up to the Floating Continent, I'm going to get 2 Espers. So that's something for him to keep in the back of his mind. Sabrewulf is immediately heading to Jidoor for Realm. So I like the strategy from Sabrewulf and HunnyDoo to split off into the new character checks that they found. HunnyDoo sees Gao at the top of Kefka at Narsh, and we'll see what he decides here at the top.
Very true. This allows a lot of divergence as well. Gives him some more opportunities for answers.
Drinks Glue mentions in chat, since Locke has the Rage ability, he cannot use the Atma weapon, which he normally can, and that's due to a bug that's in the game's code. If you try to use Rage with an Atma weapon, your game will crash pretty much. So that's why we have, yes, that's why we've disabled Atma weapon usage with a Rage user. I think it's because of the way that, you know how the Rage has, when you do an attack, it kind of mimics the monster's attack. That sort of collides with the Atma weapon's special animation for getting bigger and shorter depending upon how much damage you do. So that's...
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. It's pretty gnarly, actually, that we discovered that that was the case. So
that's a really interesting confliction there.
All right, and YakkoWakko picking up his 4th Esper there from the weapon shop. Stray over a Force Shield. Absolutely, all day, every day. Let's do that.
Really poor with just Rest, but nice too. But
yeah, Ice 2 is good to have. I think we already have an Esper that teaches Ice 2 somewhere, because I've seen other runners use it.
Yakko is going to show us the Cursed Shield, and we'll be able to see how many encounters.
Yeah, so the Floating Continent was 2 Espers and an Offering. I didn't see the Cursed Shield counter, damn it. I was just looking at his screen, too.
It was only 6.
Okay, it's a little bit late in the seed for that. But if you're going to use... If you know that you're going to have an Atma weapon user, that is a good thing to try and uncurse, because that will help you keep your HP at max.
Very true, and they did find a ribbon earlier, so if they didn't sell it, that's an easy equip.
Oh no. Warken did not count to 22 properly. That's a feels bad. All right, so painting the picture at Jidoor is a merchant. So this is going to be either an Esper or an item. A question in the chat, Nobodywar asking, was this seed gated behind Gao? We haven't seen all of Realms checks yet, so we haven't seen Esper Mountain. If Esper Mountain is not a character, then yes, this seed was gated behind Gao. And is that Magimaster? God, I hope not. No, it's not. I was going to say, for Sabrewulf's sanity, I hope that is not Magimaster. All right, so HunnyDoo taking down Kefka at Narsh, picking up his Gao. That's his 6th character there. With Runic and Capture, I think he's going to stay on the bench.
Yeah, especially with Mog and Realm in his party.
Yep, so we'll see if HunnyDoo decides to go right to Moogle Defense, and it looks like he is. And again, we know that this is an Esper from this fight here. What was the boss here? It was a pretty difficult boss, wasn't it?
I can't
Was it
remember. I
Haydn?
apologize. Yeah, I think it was Haydn. Wait, no, Haydn was in the floating continent.
Anyway, that is just
Did you
the
see the
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok? Yeah,
Yeah.
you did. You did see it. The Ragnarok and Jador. I apologize.
No, it's all good. So if somebody can use the Ragnarok, you said that there was a Genji glove in play somewhere from a chest?
No, I said if they could find a Genji glove.
Oh, okay. All right, so Sabrewolf into Esper Mountain, and that is Cyan.
Uh-oh.
Ooh, that is spicy. Because we do have a sword tech user with Strago, and we have Gogo as well, who could equip any command essentially to their menu. Unfortunately, YakkoWakko is going to try to do the Velt check, but he has 4 party members in his team. So the thing about the Velt check is you need to have 3 or less party members to get the reward. Otherwise, the reward's not going to show up because you need a slot in your party to accept said reward.
And I've definitely done this before.
Yeah, this is just unfortunate here. All right, Flame Eater is the boss here at Esper Mountain. So I have to imagine, Sonic, that if you're Sabrewolf, you've been struggling in this seed with this fight specifically that KwehstopherWarken has on his screen, that you're going to go straight to Cyan's Dream in order to unlock your sword tech users all the way here.
Oh, definitely. And I'm sure Sabrewolf's feeling happy for such an easy boss fight. Just a nice little respite.
All right, so this is our Mog play here from Warken, getting his 4th character. And that is a Magitech Cyan. So if we find Celeste, we can unlock Cyan's full potential. Otherwise, Cyan is going to ride the bench. Because that 23 magic power, it just ain't it, Chief.
Yeah, it always feels bad when you find a Cyan.
Yeah, I think YakkoWakko is trying to both uncurse the shield and get Gao's reward at the same time. Oh, no, you're right. We already got Gao's reward, right? It was Locke on the Velt?
That's correct.
Okay, if that's the case, this is a terrible spot to do that because you're not going to get any XP from any fights on the Velt.
Yeah, I wonder what Yakko is doing.
Yes, you are right, chat. Thank you for pointing that out. There is no experience on the Velt. You do get magic points, and you can uncurse the shield, but this is not a good way to do it. Maybe he just feels that he's that far ahead of his partner that he has to kill some time here. But yeah, just for those of you watching at home, you don't get any XP from fights on the Velt, so it is a bad place to grind for anything other than the reward.
Yeah, you really only want to take as many fights as I can just to make Gaw appear, or whoever will.
All right, so we talked about it just a second ago here, Sonic. Sabrewolf into Cyan's Dream will get his sword tech users online when this is done.
I think this is a really good play. Let's just hope he gets a good boss here.
Yeah, or the second boss, because if you save in Cyan's Dream after the first boss and you can't beat the second one, you're stuck in here.
And that never feels good.
No, that's awful.
Luckily, it's just an Air Force. The Air Force, though they can do their crazy barrage of launcher followed by atomic ray. But
yeah, launcher followed by any AoE is basically a thanks for playing. All right, so that is the Pugs down. Unfortunately, no Minerva drop from that. Yeah, I think if you're going to grind to get the fights done for the Paladin Shield, at least take the Moogle Charm off on your way to your next check.
Yeah, that or take a check with some grind fights in it.
Did he go through the Burning House yet? I don't think he did. So that there could be a perfect place to unlock your curse shield.
Say both finding a flame shield at the beginning of Doma Dream, so it doesn't feel too great. And then there's the Setzer.
All right, well, that's at least his 6th character without having to go back and get Mog. Right? Sabrewolf's just like,
true.
Thank God I do not have to go against those those Ogors again. Please, game, anything but Ogors. All right, so Hunny is going to pick up Cyan, and I wonder if he's going to go through the dream, knowing now that it's both a flame shield and a character. Do remember, we do have a Kefka Tower skip at 9 characters, so he's going to get at least character number 7 here with Cyan.
Very true. And Yakko's still on the Velt, and now getting confused by the Brontours. This could get really scary.
Yes.
Oh no! And Strago quadra slams, but luckily he hits himself first.
Yeah.
Breaks his confusion.
That's the only time I've ever been happy to see an old man beat himself up. All right, it's Delt Cave here for Warken. Going to get his Esper Shiva. I think Shiva was the one with a bunch of good spells on it. No, that was Carbuncle.
Carbuncle, yeah.
Okay.
But I think Shiva did have, what was it, Quick?
I don't remember.
No, that was Stray, I think. Yeah, it's hard to remember.
All right, so Sabrewolf here is going to... Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just about to say what you were going to say. Go ahead.
No, you go.
We're about to find out, and it's Foon Baba at the throne of Doma.
Ugh.
Oh boy. Luckily they have ice. He's going to ice and flare to take him down.
Yeah, no bio, but flare will do the job. And 2 out of 4 party members frozen there on the Doom fight. And one of them with Mog is using Dance. So essentially, Warken is just down to 1 character here. All right, so I think we have finally uncursed this shield. Yes, we have. There we go.
That'll be really nice for the end game.
Yeah, especially since we know that Mog could use the Atma weapon, even though Locke cannot. All right, so it looks like we are going to hit the bucket here. I think Yakko has got to go find some Phoenix Downs. That should be his #1 priority, given how low of levels his characters, are compared to what his scaling is. His scaling is at 20, and I saw one of his characters is level 13.
Oof.
Question from the chat. Do you learn Ultima in this setting? Yes, you do. So having uncursed the Paladin shield, it will now start to teach whoever's wearing it Ultima at a ×1 rate. It also costs 254 MP per cast. So that is going to be problematic, as we'll probably get maybe 1 cast out of a user before they have to refill magic somehow. Thanks, Blowfish.
And HunnyDoo's running up to the top of Narsh. I wonder if he's going to take down the dragon as well. It only makes sense because he doesn't have Amaro.
Yeah, if you're here, you don't want to just go for the Esper. You need additional incentive to go up here.
And he finds his Storm Dragon.
Yep, we got Bolt too. So this will be all right.
Luckily, it only opened up with Wind Slash and not Arrow.
Yeah. All right, so there is Sabrewolf unlocking all of his sword techs there from Cyan's Dream. And Yakko going way deep down the rabbit hole here in a Phoenix Cave. Another Esper on the Doma throne, at least for Sabrewolf. So he now has 4.
And Modern with a Bolt 3 is very nice.
So apparently Setzer has Natural Magic and Throw. Throw plus Go-Go, or Throw-Go, as I like to affectionately call it, is one of my favorite combinations. Love Throw-Go.
And his stats aren't too bad, 35-30. And if you could find an enhancer, that would help increase his throw damage a little bit more.
Yeah, it's also one of the reasons why I like to buy just a ton of shurikens beforehand anyway, just in case I run into somebody with throw. Or a lance there for HunnyDoo. I don't know if we have equipment for our jumper, because Mog would certainly be able to use that.
Yeah, I don't remember anybody finding a dragon horn or dragon boots seed so far yet.
Yeah, so chat pointing out, Phoenix Cave late always feels kind of horrible. However, since we do have a skip at 22 checks, you could defeat the dragon, which is 1 check, and then get the reward, which is a 2nd check. So it at least makes it a little bit more worth the time investment here into this.
And it did look like he was going to try to learn Ultima, so this could give him half of his advancement towards it.
That's a really good point.
Boom, we find Inferno at the Tritalk spot.
Yeah, this is not a fun fight here.
Luckily, his HP pool won't be too high right now.
Yeah, so there you see Yakko taking the doing the tent glitch, which is it's considered a glitch, I guess, but we allow it. Where if you have one party on a save point and you don't move with your other party, you could heal them up, and that's a nice hero ring in the chest. Remember, Yakko also needs to get levels because some of his party, he's not even at 1,000 HP here. So I like this play of going to grab this dragon here.
Yeah, some of his people were only level 22 from what I saw, so that feels really scary at 1 hour.
All right, so we're climbing up the tower to go get Realm here. So it looks like there may be a path through this seed without having to go through Fanatic's tower to get Realm, because I don't think Yakko has Realm yet. Correct?
That's correct.
Oh,
he finds a Skull Dragon. Luckily, he's got a bunch of fire spells.
Yeah, here comes Delta Hit. When you have Infernos and all 3 parts up for more than 3 turns, Delta Hit is a possibility that will happen. Ifrit, the Esper there, from the Kolinginin, one of Setzer's checks. And yeah, there's a bunch of stuff to throw in that shop. Bolt Edges, Fire Skeins, and a dead check there for Hunny. Oh, it's Dragonhorn, though. So if we had those boots and we just got that lance, you could have had the Pogo special there at the top of Norsh.
Very true.
All right, Yakko taking out the dragon there in the Phoenix Cave. We'll see what the reward is besides actually catching up in levels a bit. All right. I think he already has Burnt and Protection, but if he doesn't, then he definitely does now.
Yeah, he definitely has it. I saw a Flame Shield, a Thunder Shield, a Paladin Shield, and a Minerva.
And we got Flying Octopus. Flying Octopus in the sky there for Sabrewolf. So this is only an Esper or an item check, so I like him doing this here. That will get him towards his go mode, because he does still need 4 more Espers here.
And he's rewarded.
Oh, there's some boots in a relic shop that HunnyDoo is in.
And it's a Fenrir, so now we have Fenrir
Nice.
and Gollum Schwantz.
Very nice. HunnyDoo, by the way, just creating himself a God Mog build with the boots and the horn. And it's another character in Phoenix Cave with Celeste. Well, since Yakko already had 6, didn't really want to see a character, but you know what? Celeste is a pretty good one when all you need is Espers, because the Magitech Factory, the first 2 checks, are only Esper item, and there's that really quick free South Figaro prisoner check. So not necessarily a terrible pickup there from Yakko. Hunny, meanwhile, despite having 7 characters, is heading into Cyan's Dream here. So he's going to get his 8th character, his 7th Esper, and a Fire Shield.
Which always feels bad this late. And here we go, running into Daryl's tomb now. So we'll get to see another check down here, Schwantz.
Zone Seek is in the South Figaro basement, so that is Esper number 5 there for Yakko.
Oh.
Dirt Dragon is down there on Warken's screen. That was the one in Fanatic's Tower that drops the Atma weapon.
And then Zone Seek just had Safe and Bio, so
yeah,
it looks like he wants Shadow to learn that.
Yeah, thanks for that game after we've already fought Funbaba. All right, so not Owser's Mansion, Daryl's tomb here. You can read what the inscription is on the tomb before you go do this check. If I'm Sabrewolf and this is a character, I just reset here.
Very true. And since they already found the offering on the floating continent, and do you think they're going to even check the monster in a box?
I don't think Sabrewolf went to the floating
continent. And he finds a
continent,
Gigantos, which could be a huge help to get some much needed levels.
Yeah, Sabrewolf did not go to the floating continent to go and get his stuff. However, he did do Cyan's Dream, so he could use Sword Tech 8 here in order to use Cleave and just end this fight right away. Yeah, I think Sabrewolf got killed on his way to whatchamacallit, the place you just said. Floating continent. There
Floating continent, yeah.
All right, so Warken here grabbing that Ragnarok at the top of Fanatic's Tower, and is going to have to beat this boss. Thankfully, it's just the piranhas and go all the way down. That is Phantom on the tombstone, so that's good for Sabrewolf. So Setzer's checks coming in huge this seed with 3 Espers. Nice.
And some good Espers too, Schwantz. And then Sabrewolf is taking a breath of fresh air as he comes across Leader, while Yakko comes across Guardian at the Ifrit spot in Memtech. Not feeling too great there.
Yeah, especially it doesn't look like he has that lightning magic that some of our other runners have found here. So this is going to be a bit of a longer fight. And Sabrewolf, in spite of all of his struggles, is our first runner to 7 Espers here. That's a nice Esper there. Speed +2.
Yeah, he's
and
catching
there
up
as
on
well.
his checks quick too.
All right, so we are at 1 hour and 9 minutes into the seed, which is a bit of a long one for an Ultros League seed, don't you think?
Yeah, Glue was saying earlier in the chat that he feels that the cross communication might actually slow down the thought processes from naturally tackling the seed. What do you think about that, Schwantz?
Yeah, that's an interesting point, because you're going to do stuff that you might not normally do, right? You're going to say, hey, I'm going to go check out Thamasa and Albrook, whereas normally you just wouldn't do that, right? So that is interesting. I think that definitely can ring true for sure.
I'm also wondering too if their number of chests increased based on how many they normally open, based on what their partners found and told them to go open up more chests.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, if me and you are running, right, and you tell me to go to 3 towns and I tell you to go to 3 towns, and then all of a sudden there's something in each town for both of us that we should go get, now we're visiting 6 towns, right? Instead of just the 3 that we had. So I can easily see this exponentially increasing the time And it looks like we got our Merton online in the lower right-hand corner of the lower left-hand corner of the screen, rather, on Funbaba. All right, so
Sabre Wolf prepping to take care of the Storm Dragon, but we'll see who it is. The Gold Dragon, ooh. But he does have Berserk for it, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so that's definitely going to help.
I think he's just going to go for the quick kill and not even bother wasting time berserking it.
Yeah, Berserk would certainly help not annoy the heck out of you with all of the magic casts that happen. All right, so that will be 8 characters, 7 espers for HunnyDoo there. And he's already at, I mean, I thought it was 18 checks, but his tracker says 19, so he's at 19 checks already. Just needs 2 more for Skip, and he needs 2 more espers, so therefore, Hunny is going to get Skip.
I wonder where he's going to go to try to get these last 2 espers.
Well, maybe that's why he got Setzer, right? Because he knows from Sabre Wolf that Setzer has 3 espers in his checks. So why not?
Very true. So you can search the skies right now.
Meanwhile, we get to see what is at the end of Mount Zozo. Oh, the shiny thingamabob.
It doesn't look like a pretty star.
If it wasn't on the ground, then yes. Glowing stones are available in the auction house.
KwehstopherWarken's gonna roll the dice.
Ugh.
He got not so lucky with a 50,000 GP deck of cards.
Those are some expensive cards, my friend. All right, and Sabre Wolf apparently has 16 checks, so I'm bad at pushing buttons apparently here. Yakko does take down Guardian finally. I didn't see what the reward was there.
I didn't either. I was looking at the top left at Sabre Wolf's screen. I apologize.
All right, so now that the $50,000 pool is out of the way, there's a 50% chance we get the Esper and a 50% chance we get something we don't want. Hey, there's the 50% chance.
And HunnyDoo just got the skip on Lock Schwans.
Yep, so that is go mode and skip mode there. Meanwhile, it is Welk at the Doma Siege spot. That's another Esper there at the auction house.
And Ramu has Cure 2 and HP 100. So that's pretty good too. I think they already had Cure 3 on an Esper though, so the HP 100 will be a nice little bonus.
Third Ragnarok, by the way, was in Mount Zozo. I did not see what it was at first, so thank you, chat, for keeping us honest here. All right, let's see what Sabre Wolf gets here from Doma Siege. This is a new check for us. Hey,
Bahamut.
There we go. All
right, so Sabre just needs one more Esper.
So let's take a look at his tracker and let's see what he can do or where he can go. Abbott's Rock is a character. Velt Cave he hasn't done yet, and that is an Esper, so I'm going to guess that's where he's going to go next. Unicorn is the reward there at Magitech number 2. Teaching Ultima.
It always feels bad to see Ultima on an Esper at the end of a seed.
All right, so Hunny's our first into Kefka's Tower here. Sabrewolf will be following shortly. As I mentioned, he's going to head to Velt Cave because he knows from his partner that this is an Esper. And Warken here heading into Owser's Mansion. I don't know if this team has that info. And it looks like YakkoWakko's heading through the minecart ride here. This is guaranteed to be either an Esper item, Esper character rather. Sorry.
And we find Doomgaze over at the Guardian spot. Luckily, he misses with his level 5 Doom.
Yeah, the math checks out. And it looks like we're going to be using Sword Tech 7. So Sword Tech 7 ignores your physical defense, of which Doomgaze is very high, both physical and magic defense. So that's a really good ability to pull out here on Doomgaze.
There's some great game knowledge there by Hunny.
Using the X potion here. I probably would have opted for Sword Tech 5 to get off an attack at the same time, but yeah, that's fun. Thanks, Doomgaze. Love this fight.
You hate to see that. It's like, take anybody but my main damage dealer, please, Doomgaze.
Yeah. As Drinks Glue says, fun fact about Doomgaze, he's a jerk. Yep. The jerk store called and they ran out of Doomgaze. All right, so here's Sword Tech 5. It basically will heal you and damage the enemy. Well, heal you and restore MP and damage the enemy.
Which I think is one of the best things about it. The restoring the MP part.
For sure. It means that your Sword Tech user should never die unless Doomgaze is a jerk.
Which he is.
Yeah, of course.
Full disclaimer.
Yeah, full disclosure.
He's taken quite a few of my Iron Mog runs.
Yeah. You hate to see it. But yeah, so Empower or Sword Tech 5, as I mentioned, was one of the ones that's based on your magic power. So if you have a person with a relatively low magic power and you need a lot of health back, you might not gain all of your health back because it will only do damage for, based on your magic damage formula. However, Hunny gets through it anyway, even though his Strago's looking a little worse for the wear, but he could rectify that in the next fight right afterwards. A Ragnarok is the dead check in Owser's Mansion.
A lot of Ragnaroks floating around this seed.
Yeah.
You're always happy just to find one. Nobody
war. So
shouting out for Sabrewolf.
Yep. There it is. Finally gets his go mode there. Now however, he only has... So he's got 18 checks. Would you go for skip at this point? You only
I think I would. I would run the opera, especially with the levels that's needed. I'd run to the Opera House real quick, then drop in, kill Toilet Atman and Gold Dragon spot.
Yeah, it's too bad he's already bought the Zen Thief. That would be something I would go get, right? Because remember that is considered a check. I don't know if I would sit through the Opera House for it, because Opera House is also considered a check. So, oh god, look at this second statue spot. Ugh, it's Magimaster. So I know there's Berserk on one of these Espers somewhere. I don't think that HunnyDoo's party knows it though, and that's going to be a problem. We do have Sword Tech 7, which is great, because Sword Tech 7 will ignore Magimaster's insanely high physical defense.
Very true. And I think Strago has a Minerva on, so he's not at any danger from Magimaster dying, except for the double doom that he'll occasionally do at the end of his fight.
Yeah, and there he goes. That's Magimaster down for HunnyDoo.
And look, Sabre Wolf did. He ran to the opera, finds the ice dragon hiding there.
And then gets immediately frozen but with half his team, because that's how the seed has been going for him. Meanwhile, KwehstopherWarken is going to get his 6th character. And YakkoWakko getting through Magitech Factory. That was an Esper at the end of that. So that is going to be Esper number, I believe, 7 for him.
But then Sabre Wolf using his game knowledge to Merton to unfreeze everybody. It was a very nice move. Well, now we're about to find out who's at the goddess location.
All right. And I think that's our last Ultros. No, we've seen 3 of them, but not 4 of them.
Now, is this Ultros 1 or is this Ultros 2?
Yes. No, Ultros 1 is the one without the tentacles. So that's just the face. Ultros 2 is usually a pincer attack. So that means you'll have 2 characters on his left and 2 characters on his right.
Gotcha. So that's
Ultros
how you know you
3
can
is
sketch it.
Right. No. Ultros 3 is the one that you could sketch. And that one won't be a pincer attack, but you can see his tentacles. And then Ultros 4, he'll be pushed very far forward so that Chupon can swoop in from behind him. So that's know your Ultroses, people.
Know your Ultroses. It'll help you out.
And Realm just sets her team on fire because that's what she sort of does. She's like Milton from Office Space, setting the building on fire. I set the building on fire. It's my one good impression of the seed you're going to get. Sabre Wolf is dropping in with his party overloaded in the 2nd slot, so I think you are absolutely correct here, Sonic. We're going to overload party 2 and do the Atma spot and the dragon here.
And I think that's a great play by him. You know, it takes about a similar amount of time depending on how quickly you can take down the bosses, plus you get the levels, the high tier items. It could really give you a boost in Final Kefka if you feel like your offense needs it.
And somebody call the History Channel. We are finding Bigfoot in the South Figaro Cave. That is Umaro there for YakkoWakko. So he almost has character skip. Needs to find 2 more Espers. I'm sure that based on the checks that he has done versus his partner, he could find those last 2. And the last boss in KT, nope, this is not the last. Yes, it is Senor Behemoth. But we also have, so Toilet Atma was on the floating continent, and now we have regular Atma in Kefka's Tower. So they just traded places today. Strago eating a marsupial to the face. It doesn't taste very good.
You know how it is, Swan. Sometimes you just want to change the scenery.
I believe he has my stapler. Pop quiz from Drinks Glue. Which Ultros can you cast Stop on? I think it's 3.
Man, I've never tried.
Or trick question, it's all of them. It's
I just take them down.
I just destroy. Yeah, so if you go to FF6WorldsCollide.com and you click on our wiki, in here is a boss weakness spreadsheet. So I'm going to look it up right now. 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's 1, 2, and 3. There you go.
HunnyDoo stepping on the switches at 124.26 about.
Nice. Sabre Wolf getting an ice shield from the Atmo spot. So Ultros 1, 2, and 3 are susceptible to stop, and so is Chupon, but not Ultros 4.
Gotcha.
Interesting. All right. Well, do you want to call it here? Guessing game. How long is HunnyDoo's Kefka fight going to last? Put your guesses in the chat. I'm going to say 8:41. What about you?
You know, they do have a decent offense, so I'm not going to guess too low. I think you guys are about right. I'll go with 903.
903? Okay. All right. Well, this doesn't count towards the time This is what happened was.
Oh no, what happened?
He must have put the corpse of somebody into the party on accident.
And it happens.
Yeah. All right, so Sabre Wolf picking up his last dragon and his 21st check for KT Skit. So he'll be joining his co-op pals shortly.
And that puts him at level 40, which is great.
Oh no! Oh, shh. Oh no! Because we know what's about to happen, folks. And we won't spoil it in case you just got here. But you can kind of take a guess.
I'm not going to say anything.
Oh, that is true. He has the information. So he has the information from his partner, too. And it's still going to happen. Maybe he's just not thinking about it. All right, 1:26:44 is the official start time for Kefka here for HunnyDoo. Meanwhile, Warken is getting through their first part of Cyan's Dream here, where they will get Setzer, and that will lead them to 3 more Espers, so they'll be at go mode shortly.
And they'll definitely have a breath of fresh air after that, because once they find that Search the Skies, Fenrir, I'm sure they'll feel a lot better.
Setzer, not Setzer, Strago getting bodied here for Hunny.
Yeah, that long arm really doesn't like Setzer.
No. All right, so Final Kefka is 4 different tiers. If one of your characters dies as you beat one of the tiers, you lose them going forward. In this first tier here, the long arm is instant deathable, so that's why we saw Cleave. And the face is weak to fire, so that's why it is getting lit up. It'll death counter with Quake if it's the last one alive, so we don't want that. Meanwhile, YakkoWakko taking out the Tritok at the top of the cliff, and he will get his nothing. But since he has Yeti, he can actually dive down here into Umaro's cave, and we can see what this check is here, Sonic.
I've been honestly waiting to see what's over here. I love the Yeti check myself. Nice, it's quick. Get a monster in a box that's not too far out of the way.
I think the best part about the Yeti check is you can warp out of it when you're done.
Very true.
Although, what I usually like to do is I like to take the dragon last, so you're kind of like backtracking a little bit, you know? But if this is not a... I'm sorry, go ahead.
I can see that understanding in case you get 2 good Espers in a row from Tritok, then you go back to the dragon to learn them.
That is exactly what I do. All right, so tier 1 down for HunnyDoo. Took him 2.5 minutes to do that. So thanks to Strago getting just punched in the face early on, that took a little longer than normal, and here comes disaster for Sabre Wolf. Wah, wah, wah.
Oh, and you can see him pausing too. Like, damn it, I even knew that, and I forgot.
All right, so that is Starlet there from the Yeti Cave. Yeah, so Sabre Wolf's going to have to take off the Moogle Charm here. Honestly, I never think about Doomgaze until Doomgaze happens. Same. But that's the thing, right? Like, Doomgaze happened, so...
Every one of my Iron Mog runs, if you go to my Doomgaze fight, you'll hear me...
Yep.
Just hold my breath until I see the mist or my party's dead.
Yep.
And it's always a very sad occurrence.
Yeah. It's not something you think about all that often. And that is a Merton, and we got some levels gained for our 2 characters. Very nice. Bada boom, 41. Now Doomgaze, come fight me, bro, and we'll be good here. All right, so Hunny has got the morph on Shadow. Let's see if he tries to pull off what is called the permamorph glitch, where if your morph bar runs out as you're transitioning in between tiers, your character will stay permanently morphed. And that's just the way the game checks for statuses. You could also be permanently asleep or permanently stopped or frozen. So it's better to be permanently morphed than any of those other things, though.
Yeah, it could work out very poorly in your favor or very beneficially in your favor.
All right, so that sets are there for our right-hand side with the natural magic throw, and that is immediately going into the party.
And there's Hit being taken down by Hunny, and his 10 hits coming out on his death counter.
I think Sabre Wolf would have just put in an FF glue if he would have run into some Ogors in a random encounter there. That's just evil. All right.
And there's Sabre Wolf looking for his Berserk.
Another Esper there on the Doma throne. According to his tracker, he has 6 Espers. How is that even possible?
Sabre I must have put. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, Sabre Wolf doing the Merton for the opener here, because your first attack against Magimaster always should be your strongest elemental spell, and here is Bahamut summon. This is a good heads-up play here. He'll be fine with Bahamut plus Sword Tech 7.
Very true. As War was pointing out, is that Sabre Wolf doesn't have Shiva.
That makes sense.
Or he doesn't have Berserk.
Yeah, it's sort of a spell you tend to overlook because it only has 2 very specific, very niche usages, but when you need it, it's really nice to have.
Very true. I do. If I saw Quick Berserk, I would definitely put it on at least one person in my party, because it is always great, especially if you go up Fanatic's Tower, to Berserk one of your physical attackers. So that way you don't have to worry about them casting magic while in there. It does have more than just the Magimaster fight in my eyes.
Interesting tactic here from YakkoWakko. Knows that Realm's at the bottom of Fanatic's Tower, yet is going up here anyway. Maybe looking for that skip to get his 9th character. Meanwhile, we are hitting the snail in the Gru hole, and that is not advised.
I wonder if he did it to come up to get the dragon and the item in the chest. Maybe
it's definitely possible. But there are certainly faster ways than doing this to get a dragon and a Ragnarok. Right, we've seen a few of them in this seed so far.
Very true.
And I believe he got one as well. So Hunny, I believe, pulled off the permamorph because Shadow is still morphed, and it's been an entire tier 3 there. Very nicely done with Fenrir, getting the calmness coming out, with Strago doing Sword Tech 7, pushing through that 10k damage barrier real fast in one turn.
Now, it was a very quick tier 3 too, Schwanz. A very good execution by Hunny.
All right, so we're getting an Ultima here from YakkoWakko. So the big blue bubble coming out.
Making quick work of good old Rizupas.
All right, and Sabre Wolf stepping on the switches as well. So our left team is going for Kefka, and our right team is still looking for their go mode.
It's too bad they found Setzer so late.
Yeah, where was Setzer behind? So Setzer was
Hidden in Cyan's dream.
yeah, so and Cyan was where the hell was Cyan?
Where was he? He wasn't. It
Was
was
he at
gone.
Esper
Kefka
Mountain?
Narsh. Yes, Esper Mountain. That's right.
And then Realm was Fanatic's Tower. So yeah, he was buried a little deep within the seed here. All right, so Kefka will cast Fallen One if you do less than 30,000 damage on the first turn, but HunnyDoo did more, so we're skipping that and we're heading right into Fallen One here as Shadow is cracking skulls with that Ragnarok.
And Nobody War said Sabre Wolf started at 136.04. So if we want to get our times in, now would be a good time to put your predictions in.
Meanwhile, unfortunately, he was not able to push through with Goner here. And just going to eat the Flame Shield. Is going to do Quadra Slice here. This is going to be another 12 or 13,000 damage. He's got to be careful because this is Ultima counter territory. But HunnyDoo
cracks it.
Getting through 1 hour, 37 minutes, 5 seconds is your official time. Get your GGs in the chat for HunnyDoo there, as I forgot to put him in the name of racers, like an idiot. So let's rectify that situation now. All right, so remember, we are doing a team average, so this race is not over yet. It depends on if Sabrewolf can finish in second, then obviously the left team wins. However, if the other team miraculously somehow comes back and grabs yet some more Espers and some more good things through Kefka's Tower, then it will be our right-hand side team winning. All right, so what was the final battle time here? It was...
I think Chad is saying 10:21.
10:21 is exactly correct, yes.
Let's see, was anybody close?
Yeah, it was getting dangerous there with the ultimate counters. So we had a couple of 9 minutes and change ones. I think 9:33 was our closest.
Yeah, everybody thought he could keep it under 10 with the offense, but the hiccups, they always create unwanted shenanigans.
That's
Luckily,
what we're here
we
for,
had
shenanigans. All right, and the high tier item in the auction house is the Thunder Shield. We know that because YakkoWakko's about to buy it now, or ignore it.
It's always nice to see an elemental shield there.
Yeah, so in Ultros League settings, the Esper is always at the 20,000 tier slot. So the Esper has a 50% chance of showing up after you buy that really expensive item. And it looks like we're in the wrong world here for KwehstopherWarken. Or did he forget to activate Lone Wolf? Because I've certainly done that too.
I just did it yesterday. It always feels bad.
Yep.
And that's too bad because he does miss out on the Esper, which would have given him his unlock.
Yeah. Instead, he'll have to do it at Moogle Defense.
Which will put him at 19 checks.
Is that true? Yes, that is true.
I think he said 17 now.
Yep, I was just making sure I didn't bork his tracker.
Now, Yakko resetting the auction. What is your strategy here with the auction, Swan? Do you think it's quicker to reset or to just go through?
No. It's quicker to reset. Especially if it's an imp robot.
Is that 2 imps in a row, or is he...
Well, so the mistake was buying the $10,000 item, because that makes the imp robot and the other $10,000 nothing come up more. So the auction house basically works where the highest item is the $50,000 one, and that shows up 50% of the time. Then the $20,000 Esper will show up 25% of the time, and so on down the line. It's another coin flip with each item, so on and so forth. So the imp robot at first is like 6.25% or whatever it is. And the imp robot jumps up to 12.5 if you buy the $50,000 item. But that also means your Esper is 50%. So it's a coin flip. So after you buy the $50,000 item in the auction house, go and save outside, come back in. If it's the Esper, buy it. If not, just reset. That's sort of the strategy for Ultros League flag sets anyway. It's different, obviously, with different flags.
Understood, because some seeds have 2 Espers at the auction house, right?
That is correct. Some have none. So why are you even in there?
And now Yakko
Sabre chucking the Ragnarok at chucking the Ragnarok at sleep. Hey, listen, if you can't take the items with you, you might as well use them. All right, so Yakko is our first into KT. Did we get a look at the levels here? All right, Realm finna die, but everybody else will be okay. I wish you could buy characters at the auction house. If you play an Archipelago seed, you can potentially buy characters at the auction house, which is a multi-world seed.
That's very interesting to even think about that.
Yep. Yeah, the normal like item restrictions don't apply in multi-worlds because you could pick. You could literally. There's a setting that you could have called Treasure Sanity where you could get Espers and characters in treasure chests.
Oh boy.
Which makes for a terrible race because everybody's just walking around opening up chests. But, you know, it's something you can do if you want to.
It almost forces you to 100% your chests.
Yep. Yeah, so Treasure Sanity will send items back and forth between the runners, but it could be any item. So I could be sending you a leather hat, and you could be sending me an offering, right? For example. And that's not only in chests, that's also in checks as well. So it feels real bad to do Fanatic's Tower to get a to get a rename card at the bottom for your partner.
Oh boy. Yeah, that would really, really hit you in the gut.
Yeah. Yeah, not fun. You can do it though. It is an option. Second Ragnarok throw of the seed there for Sabre Wolf. I like that he's just like, screw it, we're killing this guy.
And there we go. Yakko actually brought the Yeti into the tower, and they successfully took down Doomgaze.
There we go.
And what do you think, Schwartz? Do you think this Quadra Slice will take him down, or that Thunder Shield?
No, it's going to be the Thunder Shield. Otherwise, we're getting goner.
Oh, wait, one more Merton.
I mean, he might kill one of his teammates, but it doesn't matter if you win the fight. There it is. The
Very
last
nice.
Merton. 1:45:06 is the official time for Sabre Wolf.
GG's in the chat.
So our winners are... Oh, this is the wrong person. So team left beats team right. I feel like I'm in a Twix commercial.
Left Twix.
Congratulations,
Right kind of
Sabre and
person.
Hunny.
GG's.
Congratulations, left team. So what did you think of the co-op here? The times are a little bit on the slower side, which is interesting because normally you'd think if you're working together it'll be faster, but do you think it was sort of an information overload type of situation, guys?
Definitely not. First, want to shout out extra-life.org.
Very nice. Thank you for
And
your hard work there.
Oh yeah, this I think in the last month or so I played over 50 seeds. If this isn't the hardest seed, it's definitely in the top 3. It was just a legitimately hard seed.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, looking at it from our perspective, obviously we didn't get to go into the minutia of actually playing it, but there weren't great spells other than I think Bolt 3 showed up towards the end, and I think there was an Ultima on one of the Espers that one of the players on the right team found. And you didn't get throw Setzer until much later on in the seed. And Cyan was a little bit late for your sword tech users, right? So
Yeah, I enjoyed the part where I had to sword tech 1 down Doom in Belt Cave.
Oh
yeah, the boss. Yeah, that's what me and Sonic were saying as well. That the bosses in the early going were just atrocious.
The
now that I
ogre
got rid of my
marshals
double
especially.
audio.
Yeah, the Ogre and Marshall fight will give Sabre PTSD for the rest of his days.
You know, anytime I do a gosh darn restream, why do I have the bad luck, yo?
Always.
Stop double zombo. Stop double zombite. Stop. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
But, you know what? Curse turned into a blessing because I ended up with Setzer, who ended up with... I ended up with Cyan, who gave me the sword tech for Strago. I had Strago with strength +2 for the majority of the game. He ended up with 90 vigor, was dropping 12k bombs at the end, and that actually turned into Setzer, which gave me the throw, and that gave me 3 Espers, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, Setzer's checks were great this seed.
So that put me right back in the game, and also parlayed me into the shortcut, because thanks to Hunny with the communication, we had a leader with the Esper that I needed to finish out the Espers, so I could do the Opera House shortcut, mid lane, Kefka's Tower to catch all the way back up again. So I went from behind, I want to say I was behind 16, 20 minutes to end up only being 7 minutes behind, 7 to 8 minutes behind at the end. So that was a huge. So Setzer saved the game for me.
Yeah, that was definitely the optimal route through the seed for sure. Just based on like the outside looking in. So Hunny, you said that this seed was quite difficult. What were some of the parts that you just were slogging through in your particular run?
Yeah, aside from having to sword tech 1 down at Doom, which I guess I didn't have to do that, but I was being greedy. I didn't want to break my flame shield because of Merton. But then I realized, oh wait, there was Thunder Shields and Whirl of Balance Figaro, so I could have broke the flame shield and mimicked it. So that was a misplay by me. That fight could have been like 4 or 5 minutes shorter if I just mimicked the flame shield a bunch. Actually had a good fight against Marshall and Ogres, because, well, first of all, I already knew they were there because of the information.
Yeah.
I was jealous of you. I'm jealous.
But yeah, you can save before that fight when you get your corals. Once you get your 22 corals, you can save and you get to keep them.
Yeah.
So like I did that, and my plan was, okay, I'm gonna Tritalk and mimic Tritalk, and even if I get zombied, the summons are still gonna hit the enemy units, even if you're zombied. So I just have to get the command in before the zombies go off.
We thought we were like, this is a disaster. What is happening here? And that's Ultima from Senor Behemoth on the bottom screen as well.
Yeah, that's some great game knowledge there, Hunny. We totally thought that the next time he mimicked it, it would have wiped the party.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, both of the guys was zombied for the Tritox, but it was like, nah, they gonna hit the other guys.
Yeah, see, you learn something new every time you watch a Worlds Collide race, ladies and gentlemen.
So that went according to plan. They didn't get experience on the zombie characters, but I was doing it for the team, like just to peek what was behind it.
Yeah. So speaking of, knowledge beforehand, Saberwolf, do you want to talk about Doomgaze?
Yeah, so knowledge beforehand, he told me where all the bosses were.
Yep.
But I didn't look to see what levels I was. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna throw Grandpa and Grandchild in the mid because that's my Merton sword tech, and I can get both Magi Master and Doomgaze that way. So I'm like, I'm just gonna throw them there. I didn't look at the levels.
It was really interesting, Sabre, because we were looking at all the levels as everybody was progressing, and I had just noticed that you were level 40 going in, and Swan started laughing. I had completely forgotten Doomgaze was right there.
Well, I knew Doomgaze was there. I just didn't look at the levels. So I took that one fight. Luckily, it was whatever it was, a bunch of chimeras or whatever.
Yeah.
And that gave me the one level I needed. So I was like, okay, fine. That wasn't too bad of a reset because I was like already there. And both fights were quick. Like I think I killed Doomgaze in 2 turns. I killed Magi Master in like 3 turns. And then I already knew left lane was who was in the left lane?
Behemoth.
Yeah, Behemoth's left lane. I threw Shadow Go there because that was my Merton to get rid of that because he's weak to fire. Which kind of sucked when I mimicked the Merton on Go and it didn't damage him because he shapeshifted there to his second form, so it didn't hit him.
Yeah.
And then the last lane was Ultros 1, so all I had to do was and Setzer was my weakest party member by far, so I just threw him over there and said, yeah, you can just deal with him. So yeah, good knowledge on that last part there, just didn't look at the levels.
Yep. So how chaotic was, I guess, the early game with you guys just yelling at one another what you found in chests and things like that? Did that sort of make it difficult, or did you have to cut through the noise somehow?
I think we had a pretty solid plan. We was like talking it out in a voice chat before we started, and yeah, we kind of felt like doing different towns to begin with anyway, so we kind of just do what we did in our normal runs. I'm a North starter, he's a World of Ruin Figaro starter, so kind of just did our normal stuff, and we shouted out the extra stuff and what a couple of the shops said, but it wasn't too complicated.
Nah, it wasn't too complicated at all. We just shouted out the important things like, hey, there's Atma Weapon, secret passage, returners. Like, just the important information. Like, he told me, like, none of the chests are any good in the Zone Eater, or whatever it was. There was no good chest there, so I could just skip all the chests and don't have to bother even looking at them. So there's just big, important pieces of information on just where major stuff was.
Yeah, some of the best information isn't what is there. The best information is what isn't there. Because they just going in towns and going like, okay, item shop's dead, relic shop's dead, weapon shop's dead. This whole town's dead.
Mm-hmm.
All right, all the chests in this whole dungeon dead. Like, it's like very useful information.
Yeah, like earrings in Elbrook. So he knew to go to Elbrook for the earrings, even though I think every single relic shop, except for World of Balance Figaro, had earrings in it, I think. So really
I might have got it in Zen.
Yeah.
Oh, Shadow still is looking at both Zen Thieves and they were the same price.
Yeah, that was lame.
I think it was like 44 and 40. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was 41 and 40. Yeah, it was like 1,000 difference.
Yeah.
He
sorry,
was like, yeah, I'm gonna. Do you want me to check the World of Ruin price before you buy it? And I was like, nah, I'm just gonna sell all my stuff, buy it. I'm never coming back to this town. And
yeah,
luckily it ended up being fine because it was the same price in Otherworld.
Oh, so he's just doing. Oh wow, so they're actually a full 15 minutes behind.
Yeah, there was some. I think Warken lost a couple of. He lost an entire burning house from not saving, and I think YakkoWakko lost a lot of time with going to the auction house, and there's something. Uncursing the curse shield.
Did they go
you got
floating continent?
rock?
Because I could not find time to fit floating continent in.
Yes, floating continent was 2 espers and an offering.
Oh, that was. Oh, so there's the offering for Atmo Weapon. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the
but
offering
you can
was
break
at
through that
Atmo Weapon
early
spot too.
Well, it got to the point where early game when I died so many times at Ebbets Rock and at Ebbets Rock really, and so I'm like, you know what? Screw this. I'm gonna go floating continent. Let me just check floating continent and see if it's any good. And it was 2 horrible bosses. So I was like, okay, we're not going to floating. So we both made a decision. We're not doing floating continent. We're just gonna do other things.
I think that was the exact time, like at that exact moment. That's when I found Realm at Fanatics. So I was saying, like, okay, just go get Realm right now. You can recover. Realm will fix any seed. Realm's a correct character.
Yeah,
just go get Realm.
But the only thing that stunk is that our mid game was split. Because he went Mog, I went Realm into Cyan.
Mm-hmm.
So our paths completely split, and we didn't come together until towards the end of his side of his run, where it's like, hey,
Yeah, I needed that
Haunted
the
Castle
Cyan,
there.
the Dome of Dream
Yeah,
to get
Dream.
Setzer to catch up on the Magistrates, and I
Yeah.
hit 21 checks like right on the button by following the information that you gave me.
Yeah, so I told him get Setzer because it's all Espers, and he did the Dream, which also gave him the Sword Tech too. So
Needed that Flame Shield also, so that was a cleanly timed.
yeah,
with
4
the
flame
pre-scouting.
shields, man. 4 flame shields.
Well,
An Emerton Seed, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
I had 1. I was jealous of your seed.
Mwah.
Yeah, so that was one of the things we were talking, like, strategy-wise. If one person finds a character, do they immediately go do all those characters checks to let your other partner know, hey, if you go pick up this character, here's what's in store for you? And I think we saw that on your side for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was also
so
trying to do the ones he's furthest away from. Like, he was nowhere remotely close to Fanatics Tower, so like that was a good scout. And
Ooh.
like he was doing Ebbets, so I was like, okay, let me get away from the Thamasa area.
yeah. Sonic, you got any other questions for our runners here?
I was gonna say, all in all, what were your impressions of this, and do you recommend us doing more of it in the future?
I know personally I had fun. It was something I always had in the back of my mind to do someday. Like I think me and Mogulplex talked about doing it once, and yeah, there's always one of those things that's had in the back of my mind. So it was nice to finally sit down and do it, because you theory craft in your head how it's gonna work so many times, but theory crafting all day isn't the same thing as actually sitting down and doing it. So it was nice to finally get to do it, and I'm down to do it again someday. But yeah, thank you for putting on a race, and thank you for commentating.
Yeah, this is not the first time I've done like a dual race before. I mean, I've done it with I think I did it with Duck once, and I did it with like a couple other people. I think I actually did it with you maybe once too, Hunny. And
I think we did it with Fitz on a restream one time.
yeah,
That's
and
what I remember.
I actually kind of enjoy it because it does give you a different dynamic, and it makes it more teamworky, which is one thing that this kind of, I guess, you kind of miss in the randomizer, because it's always like I'm 1v1 or I'm 1v 5. It's like you're always like by yourself. It's not really a team game, but when you do stuff like this, or even spoiler log, like do like a giraffe seed spoiler log, something like that, it makes it more team orientated. And it's something I've really been wanting to do, like community wise, even like maybe even do a tournament, like kind of like this, where you can pair people up and go that way. So I don't know how it would work in the tournament, because
Got dibs
pairing
on
people
Falcon
up-
as my partner.
Exactly, that's the thing. Like whoever gets Falcon hit, like I'm gonna team with Falcon hit. It's kind of like you have to randomize the partners or something, or you may not want to do that because somebody wants to play with somebody else. And I mean, that's just something we'd have to figure out as a community. So
I have some ideas on that, actually.
oh gee, well I think
I-
the next tournament I
ahead.
believe is Coliseum, right? After this Ultros League season.
Well, we don't know what it is yet. I've put forth a co-op event proposal where it's basically you get a partner, but you rotate partners it's a 9-week long event, and you rotate partners every 3 weeks.
Oh,
So you get to have you get to get paired up with more than one person, and I think to avoid sort of the the stacked team situation, we're gonna have basically like an A pool and a B pool, and based on like what you call it,
Average time.
yeah. So we'll do like 3 qualifiers and whatever your Z score is, split it down the middle. The top half goes in Group A, the bottom half goes in Group B, and then obviously if it's going to be co-op, you need to be available at certain times with your partner. So the seeding and the partnership will be based on when your availability is, and partner up with someone from the opposite pool. So this way you do get a little bit of a balance between teams, but there's also like a mentor-mentee aspect to it a little bit too. So some of the newer runners will get paired with a faster runner or a more veteran runner. And the way I have it shaked up now is for the 3 weeks, the first week is a static like flag set, and it's going to be a bit longer than the usual because you are doing co-op, although with these times maybe not. maybe it's one of those things where you don't need a harder seed, right? So first week will be normalized, and then the second week I'm going to do it in a living seed style, where one team gets to pick up to 3 flag changes. So you get the base set of flags, you pick 3 that you could change. So 2 flags you can change, and you can add, remove, or alter 1 objective. So you do that for the next 2 weeks, and you basically do a co-op of the other 2 weeks, right? So that sort of was going to be my idea for whatever the next event is. That I have it all written up. I have it submitted to the moderation team. We'll see what they have to say. So very nice. But yeah, also it's going to be one of those things where, again, you and your partner will have to be on the same time zone schedule, right? So if I'm saying, oh, I can only do things late at night, and Sabrewolf, you're like, yeah, late night doesn't work for me, then I obviously couldn't be partners with you, because then we'd never run the same seed at the same time.
Right.
Okay. But yeah, that's the idea anyway. So if you guys like it, and it sounds like you do, I'm also open to suggestions too. Obviously, I've thought about it a little bit, but I don't know how I'm going to score the thing. I don't know if we're going to do playoffs. I don't know any of that. So
sounds like a nightmare to put together, but if you pull it off, it'll be legendary.
Yeah, I'm hoping it'll be enjoyable.
By the way, shoutouts to Yakko for he got trained and he immediately did Unicorn to fix the train.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. Yeah, I always grab Unicorn into the fight with me, and I almost never use it. So I'm glad to see it actually getting used there.
Yeah, you got to wear a ribbon with it, or you're gonna forget.
Yeah, it's a great combo.
I always forget who has it, and then I'm like, oh, I have to echo screen them and then cast Unicorn.
Nice, KW. Nice
it works
job.
worse if you have like a character for it that's doing no damage at all. Just put a ribbon on them and have them be designated Unicorn guy. But without the ribbon, it's like it never like pays off really.
Yeah, because then you got to do one echo screen and then then the Unicorn. Anyway,
but yeah, I'm hop off so y'all can call this last fight. But I appreciate y'all.
It's all good. No, I was going to ask you guys one more question before you went.
Okay.
If you were doing the seed on your own, do you think you would have gotten a faster or slower time, and why? First, Hunny.
Probably about the same. I think I would have went Ebbet sooner, and I don't know. It's such an RNG fight. I would have said if I could beat Marshall blind on the first try, I'd be faster.
Oh yeah.
But if I would lose to him on the first try, then I'd be slower.
Yeah.
That's kind of the deciding factor.
Yep. And then Sabrewolf.
Also, I might have went Floating Continent if I was on my own, and you say Floating Continent was loaded, so it's like if I would have struggled through that, I might have got some stuff.
It was 2 Espers and 1 offering, but there were some. Toilet Atma was the first boss. I don't remember what the second one was, but the bosses weren't fun. I know Vargas was one of the bosses. I don't remember which one.
The second boss was Haydn and the Haydnites.
Oh, that's right.
I wiped.
Yes.
Yeah,
so depending on Ebbets and Floating Continent, that would determine whether I'm faster or slower.
Yep.
But on average, probably about the same.
And then Sabrewolf, what do you think?
extremely slower.
A lot slower.
A
Okay.
lot slower because I was hitting my head against the wall, and if it wasn't for Hunny saying, "Hey, I'm gonna check Magi. I was gonna check Magi Tower. It's Realm, and it's an easy fight. I think it was like Tunnel Armor or something like that.
It was Piranhas.
Or Piranhas. It was something easy. And so because of that, I'm like, okay, maybe I can get back in this game now, and having to do that, and then getting Cyan at the Esper Mountain and going that path is what put both of us like through the rest of the game. So if it wasn't for Hunny saying, "Hey, go do Magi Tower," with Flare, I would not have gotten sub 150 easily.
Got it. Interesting. Okay, but yeah, as per normal, thank you guys for running and sort of quasi-organizing yourselves, and appreciate you volunteering to be on Restream. Can't have the races without you guys, so appreciate that. And good luck with the rest of the Ultros League this season. I know Sabrewolf, you and I are in the same nightmare of a division, so good luck to you.
Yeah. I've had 2 bad times. I'm just going to be open to say that. I've had 2 horrible times, but my tune-up session that I did earlier this week, plus I did another seed the next day, both of them were sub 90s. This was a rough seed anyways, and I had bad luck. I mean, I can't really... I'm not going to look at this time at all. Other than the fact that if I did get through those fights, I mean, I might have been even faster than Hunny was overall.
Right.
Because I think I had to have lost at least 10 minutes, at least.
Yeah.
Which would put me at 135. So I actually, minus the whole Marshall bull crap that I had to deal with.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you, Marshall. I hate you. Oh God, I mean, but yeah, let's go. But anyways, that's somebody talking. Let's cheer on KW getting through Magi Master for I think this is 6th attempt now. Let's cheer on.
This fight is brutal. You guys had I don't want to say relatively easy, but you guys were able to get through it with a combination of Merton and Sword Tech and Bahamut. So
that was
what got me through it was the Minerva. The Minerva carried that fight.
Yeah,
you had the Minerva on Strago, right?
Yeah,
and you were Sword Tech subbing.
Yeah, we both had Minerva on Strago, but I think I had the 4 flame shields because I picked up extra ones going up the tower, so everybody was healing. So it was an easy run at the end for me. So
yep. Yeah, we just gotta hope that Magi Master continues with either ice or fire spells. Not this.
Can I put something out real quick?
Sure.
Nobodywar, are you using a Mac?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just.
Yes.
I'm looking at the OBS and it looks like a Mac. I'm like, wait a minute, what is this?
I mean, it says Mac at the top there. But yeah, so we were so when Nobodywar first tried doing the restreaming thing, we were like, is this going to be a problem? Does this Streamlink stuff work on non-Windows machines? Like, how does this all work? And it just so happens that it just does. So that was yeah, which is always nice to see.
It's interesting.
All right, we'll get out of here. Thank you.
Hey, thank you very much, both of you. I hope you have a wonderful evening.
All right, I needed that on-stream win. That was freaking amazing. We needed that. We're cooking now with the 2. Oops, sorry. We're cooking now with the 2 sub 90s. That would have been around a 190 as well if we got through that damn Marshall zombie bitten thing. Oh my god, that was horrible. But overall, that was a really good run. I am so happy with that. Shout out to Hunny for keeping my head in the game. Like I said, going to the Magi Tower to get the Realm, to go in to get the Cyan, the Setzer, and then gave him the feedback to do the Setzer thing, to get the Sword Text and everything else. So that was huge communication. Awesome job in both of us. So happy with that run. All right, I am Sabre Wolf. Hope you enjoyed watching this, and I hope you see you I hope you all soon. I am going to do the underground run. I'm gonna have to move the underground run now to Saturday because tomorrow, Friday Night Dice, once again, 7 p.m. Eastern time, and all the daylight savings time is still 7 p.m. Eastern. It's gonna be Mariah, Joy, Sean, and Paul all with me. I'm the DM for that, so I hope you enjoy that as well.